the warmest welcome to you for joining us on our 200th Swarf and Chips episode from the home of Great British Sports Cars. We have a real treat lined up for you because we're going to be finding out how these cars are made from scratch here in the UK. And then for the second half of the show, we'll be heading to Blyton Park racetrack and putting these cars to the test in the fastest lap competition. Look, there's some fantastic prizes that we're going to be giving away throughout the show, so keep an eye out and get your guesses in. Hold on tight. Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. Blimey, Richard, these cars are amazing. What are the stats? What performance have these cars got in them?
So the car's got a 2.5 litre Ford Geotech, about 200 horsepower and 196 pound-feet of torque in a car that weighs 600 kilos. So it's fairly quick, just over 3 seconds to 60.
Wow, I can't wait to get in one of the cars. The fact that you make them here in the UK is incredible. What's the whole process?
So it starts off with an idea, then into the CAD, getting the drawings, into fabrication that we'll see, machine shop for the more bespoke turn parts and milled parts, then the assembly through to final build, testing and on the road. My
goodness. And who's looking to purchase these? Do you have different options?
We've got quite a few different options on the car, so you can tailor it to exactly what you want in terms of performance and styling. We've got quite a mix of different customers.
So can they build the car as well, or do you just provide them with a finished car?
So we have the option to do a complete component build where we'll supply you the whole package of all the parts and you can assemble it yourself, which a lot of engineers like.
Yes.
And then we do the complete cars that you can drive away.
Oh, wow. And where did this all begin? Was it your childhood?
Yeah, I've always had a passion for cars. Started off racing, radio control cars, getting into engineering that way. Always had a real interest in engineering. Built a car with my dad when I was in sixth form at school, then did mechanical engineering at university, and it's kind of grown from there.
And talking about growing, what's the growth of the company now? Where do you predict you're going to be in 5-10 years' time?
We've spent the last few years really concentrating on a lot of product development to really get the best product that we see in the market. And I think now we're in a good position to really grow and get the brand out there and get people knowing what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely, especially the fact that it's made here in the UK.
Yep, British made.
Before we go to fabrication, do not forget to get your guesses in for the race that's happening later on in the show. Who it was that did the fastest lap and what time they did it in. Good luck.
This is where it all starts, and I say sort of the foundation of the car, the chassis.
Yeah, the chassis really is the foundation that makes the car special, with all the unique design features in.
In simple terms, and you need to keep it simple for me, what do you actually do? How does it work? What goes on, really?
So the chassis, we manufacture the whole thing. Starts off as raw material we buy in as tube.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of profile cut bracketry that goes on the car that then mounts a lot of the stuff, engine mounts, suspension mounts, and so on.
Okay. So tube, I'm assuming just very basic, cut with saws.
Yeah.
How are these manufactured?
Tube's pretty basic, just cut on a cold saw. We've got a bit of automation in that, but it's mainly manual. Then all the profile cut brackets, they're all CNC high definition plasma.
Right, okay. And then putting it all together onto a jig, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so everything's, once it's all manufactured, it's individual component that makes up the chassis. It then goes into a jig where everything's held in place. It's then welded in a correct welding sequence to ensure that it doesn't distort and move.
So it's like, it is, I'm going to make it sound basic, it's like a complicated Meccano set, really.
Kind of, really, yeah. It slots in the right order. And then all the key points on the chassis, all the suspension mounts and things are actually all pinned. So they have to be physically constrained within the jig so they can't move. And then there's certain datum points on the chassis that we want to have within a millimetre or so after welding.
Okay. And from one end to the other then, what sort of tolerances are you working to?
We aim to be within a couple of mil. No more than that, which for a welded structure is fairly tight.
So this is pretty much the chassis complete?
Yeah, so this chassis here is complete in fabrication.
Yep.
And it will be going to powder coat next.
Okay.
Where it will be shot blasted, hot prime, top coat to give it that durability and protection, and then the actual build starts.
And then anodised?
There's no anodising on the chassis. On the aluminium components on the car, we then anodise.
No problem. So this is chassis 570.
Yep.
So Next stage, let's go and find out.
Yep.
So now we've seen the fabrication elements. Tell us about the manufacturing and the machining side of your business.
So we've got this side of the business where we've got our CNC machines from live tooling lathes, bar fed lathes, milling machine, 4-axis mill, and so on. So we're making a lot of the more accurate components from seatbelt mounts that go back into fabrications, and then our own shock absorbers, throttle bodies, brake calipers, and all the sort of more precision engineered parts that go into the car.
So when we talk about the car, what parts on the car are all made here in the UK?
Majority of the parts where we can are made here on site. So we took a different approach to a lot of the other people in the industry, in that we actually wanted to be a car manufacturer and make the car from design, concept and raw material. So we're making all our own chassis, the whole exhaust system with all the 3-axis tube bending, exhaust silencers to the end. We're doing all our own wishbones, the shock absorbers on the car, brake calipers, front and rear alley hubs, all the bodywork in GRP or carbon fibre, profile cut aluminium parts, folding, quite a wide variety of different parts.
And who's responsible for the design elements of these components that make the car what it is, really?
So we've got our own in-house design team. You were using SolidWorks for a lot of the design, and then Autodesk Feature Cam on the cam side to put into the machine.
And what's unique about the components that kind of enhance the car's performance?
I think we've got the advantage because we're actually building the car, designing the car. We can optimise each component. We're not governed by buying something off the shelf where you have to compromise on it. If we want to try something or develop something, we can literally do it, and within a very short space of time we can actually have it on a car and tested.
So how important is it for your customers to actually see and know that they're getting a British-made sports car?
I really think it is key to our product that they can see that it's truly British-made and engineered all here. They can see it all under one roof. There's the bespoke element of the design, the quality's there, and they really can get a proper British sports car.
Again, I want to re-emphasise great British manufacturing, great British sports cars. You've got calipers here, discs, throttle bodies, shock absorbers, one of the key parts of the car, and it's not just a shock absorber, a lot goes into this.
Yeah, there's been a lot of design and development over the years to get the shock absorbers and all the bespoke parts of the car. Because we manufacture in-house here in the UK, it can go from an idea on a sketch through to the CAD, through to the machine on a car in a really short period of time.
Right, and then so adjusting, improving all the time?
Yeah, we're constantly evolving the car. It's just an ongoing development.
Okay, and in basic terms, this shock absorber, the comfort of the ride, the stiffness?
Yeah, so by doing our own shock, it's enabled us to get both performance on the circuit and ride quality for when you're touring, so you can get the best of both worlds.
Brilliant. And should I buy one of these cars, I'm not a leading statement there, it's easy to adjust if I want to go from circuit to road and things like that?
Dead easy. It's got the adjuster on the bottom, so you can just alter it on the fly, really.
Brilliant. Make it sound relatively simple, but a lot of thought, a lot of design goes into this.
Yeah, there's been hours and hours of fine detail in the design.
So now we've reached the final stages of this fantastic process. Talk us through the assembly.
So once the chassis has been fabricated, comes back from powder coat, they come into the workshop where we'll panel the cars. It's a full aluminium skin on the car. It's actually bonded to the chassis, so it makes a full stress skin which helps to increase the rigidity. It'll get us panelled up, it'll then go to paint in whatever colour the customer chooses, and then the assembly starts from there, putting the components on, so the wishbones, the hubs, engine, gearbox, electrics, loom, so on.
So you mentioned the bespoke elements. Can you tell us what they entail?
So the customer can really choose whatever they want. In terms of paint finish, we can have any colour, whether we want stripes on the car, any graphics, if they wanted to personalise it or brand it in any way. There's the stitching on the seats, the colour of the leather and the vinyls, whether you want carbon fibre panels inside on the dash, and then a lot of the billet components we make, we can choose the anodising colour.
And can you tell me a little bit about the additional components that you put onto the engine?
So we get the core engine, if you like, from Ford as a crate engine, and then we customise it. We swap the sump to our own billet alley sump, fit throttle bodies on it, a lot of little bespoke parts and that, just to make it fit in the car nicer, get more power from the base engine as well.
So what are the lead times for a factory build?
It depends a little bit where we are on our production schedule and waiting list. Generally, it's about 4 to 5 months once we actually start the build. And that's going right the way from the chassis through to being registered.
And where do you sell the cars? Is it just in the UK?
It's mainly in the UK, but we've got cars going all over the world. This car behind me is actually going to California to become our new demonstrator out there. We've had cars in New Zealand, Australia, all over.
What superb endorsement for UK manufacturing. Well, now you've seen how these are made, let's go and put the cars to the test. Come on, Richard, you lead the way. Now you can see how incredible these cars are made. Perfect timing there. We have arrived at Blyton Park and we're all ready for the day ahead of going round the track. It's going to be Paul, Joe, Gio, Mark and myself racing. But there is a competition too, isn't there, Paul?
Yes, we want you to guess who is going to produce the fastest lap time. We want you to guess the time as well. And I think I'm going to win. So there's a...
You might do,
good hint for
actually.
you.
But also the prize is going to be a factory tour round GBS's factory. And also Richard, who runs it, is going to take you out in the car as well. So make sure you're getting your guesses below. It's going to be a great day. Soon it was time for me to join Richard in the car to set the target lap time, and the nerves were kicking in. Oh my God. I am so scared right now. Don't try and go too fast. Over the place. Keep that wheel for us. Oh my God, where are we going? Where are we going? There's a chicane. I'm skidding everywhere. Oh my God! Bloody hell! Well done, well done.
Lindsay, Richard, the flying laps completed very fast. The actual time was 1:24.22. It looked like you actually made a big mistake at the end after you crossed the line. Was that intentional?
Just for dramatic effect.
Well, it's definitely very dramatic. What did you think of that, Lindsay?
Yeah, I don't know if my heart is still beating now, but I'm okay. I'm here to tell the tale. It was amazing. So there you are, 1 minute and 24 seconds to beat. How close will we get to Richard's lap time? Get your guesses in for who will set the fastest lap and their time to the nearest second. Don't forget the winner gets a factory tour at Great British Sports Cars in Nottinghamshire, plus a white knuckle ride in the GBS Zero car. And the top 10 runners-up will get a limited edition Interco Swarf and Chips baseball cap. Well, Richard, now we've seen the car being made, but we're here at the racetrack. I can't believe it's actually happening. And you've done your track as well. 1:24, that's incredible. How do you think we're all going to fare today?
I'm not too sure. The weather's looking a little bit grey, so
Yeah.
it could be interesting.
Yeah, and what about the track itself? What's good about this track?
Blyton Park, it's an ideal little track for testing and that, especially the first time you can really push to the limits without worrying about hitting anything hard.
Yeah, I'm worried about rolling the car, to be honest.
You've got no chance of rolling it.
Oh, why? Why is that?
Because the cars are so light and really low centre of gravity, you'd have to do something very bad.
Gosh.
To roll it.
So what is your expectation? Who do you think might do the fastest lap out of us all?
It's really hard to say. I think there could be some surprises though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm super nervous anyway, so I'm very excited. Let's see who's going to go on the track first. So the driver's briefing gets underway and there's a little bit of nervous laughter going on amongst the MTD team. And I think those nerves are justified with rain just starting to fall. Surely track conditions are going to be tricky. Paul Jones getting suited and booted. He's going to be the first out there. How will he cope?
Paul, it's getting competitive now. Like Richard's just done the fastest lap, set the scene.
I couldn't believe how slow he was.
124.22. Paul,
That's ages. When I went round there earlier, I'm sure when I was in the car with Richard, we went round faster than that, and I'm sure I could go faster again.
do you think you're going to win?
Yeah, I mean, car racing is about courage. It's not really much skill in racing. I'm deadly serious. It's more about courage. You've got to think that it's what extra lengths you're prepared to go to round a corner.
And as you can see, Paul Jones is the first of the MTD crew in today's car. It appears he's going to get the best of the conditions here today at Blyton Park. Rain is forecast, but the track is pretty dry at this moment in time. Oh, and there's a spin.
What's happened? He's spun it already. He's spun the car already. I hope you're timing that. I hope they're timing that. Yeah, because it's just started to drizzle, hasn't it, a little bit? So the weather has changed. How does that change the course? How does that change the car?
Not as much grip and could be a bit more dangerous, so
Okay.
it'll be interesting.
And I said rain is forecast. We now have rain on the track. As you can see, it's starting to become wet. All well controlled. Now Paul does fancy himself as a bit of a driver. In fact, he has himself as a narrow favourite for today. But we're one spin in already. Oh! Paul is, that's good timing. Paul is having a spin of a time. But either way, I'm going to beat them. Oh, if he could keep it in a straight line, he may have a chance today. And that was Paul Jones. You don't need a stopwatch, you need a calendar for his lap.
I had the worst conditions because it was in between dry and wet. When it's wet, you know it's wet. When it's dry, you know it's dry. It's in between, it's worse. So I get 10 seconds off of my time because of that. Because of those,
so 10 seconds off
of my circumstances. Only span it twice as well, which was quite good.
And second on the track today is Mark Deadman. Now Mark has got a bit of experience on the motorbike. Oh, maybe he should stick to a motorbike. No, good job, that was a practice lap. I'm sure he's got all the spins out of the way for today. As you can see, the heavens have opened and it is throwing it down here at Blyton Park. A good start coming into the first corner. There's a lot of rubber on the track from when it was drier early on in the day, and now it is like ice. Tidy enough through the chicane, now up to the back straight. And now the final 2 corners. And across the line for Mark Deadman. Will he be quick enough to go ahead of Jones?
Mark, how did your lap go?
Well, as you can see, it's raining, and I've probably got the worst conditions out of the guys so far. But as you can see, Joe is actually driving it like a tractor.
Well, Mark, I hate to say it, but you actually spun as well, didn't you?
Yeah, but the thing with it, that was my sighting lap. So I spun twice just to get to where the level is, and obviously fine margins, like a bit like precision engineers, fine margins. I didn't spin on my record lap.
Oh, so that was the precise lap.
It was.
Brilliant, Mark. Well done. Congratulations. Is Mark the winner? Get your guesses in.
So it's Joe's turn on the now very slippy track. And a tremendous save there from Joe. But now it's time for him to go for it. Good clean start. And now into the first bend that leads into the chicane. Out onto the far side of the circuit. And a twitch through the bends there. Well controlled.
As you can see, the time is running down for Joe, the tractor driver. As we can see, the conditions aren't too good, to be fair to him, but I must admit this is the only lap so far that he has not spun it, so that's good.
Running down now into the very difficult last right-hander where Joe had a moment in practice. And he's through. But oh, he spins across the line. Joe's just finished his lap. It was a pretty epic ending there, Joe. What did you do?
Well, you know, it's the hare and the tortoise, isn't it, Lindsay? I think I've probably done enough to win. I haven't seen the times. No one will give me the times, but it felt pretty quick.
Well, you span it, but did you get over the line and then spin it, or did you spin it first?
Yeah, just a bit of oversteer there at the end, just one for the crowd. But yeah, no, it was good fun, really good fun. Track's a bit wet, as you can see, but
Yeah.
really, really good fun. Next in the car, MTD's very own Lindsay Vickers. Oh, off to a solid start. Quickly through those gears. As you can see, we've had a bit of a break. The track has dried out a little bit and may work in Lindsay's favour. And for those of you who know Lindsay, this is how she drives going to Tesco, so stay well out of her way. That's quick up the back straight. Richard has said the secret to a fast lap is to be neat and tidy. There's a lot of talking going on in that car. Round the penultimate corner. That's one to go. And over the line for Lindsay Vickers. That looked quick. Lindsay, how did that feel?
Amazing! Like I'm literally shaking. That was incredible.
Did it feel fast?
Yeah, really, really fast. We just did a few laps as a warm up, and then we got there eventually. So shaking.
Where do you think you are on the leaderboard?
I have no clue. I thought I was going to be right on the bottom, so I'm hoping I might still be higher up than I thought on the bottom.
We didn't spin, so you got half a chance. Good driving.
Thank you. Woohoo!
So we're here back on the track at Blyton Park. As you can see, the rain has come back, and it's MTD's very own Frankie Dettori. Giovanni is in the car. could keep it straight, that would help. Wow, I think Frankie could get round here quicker on his horse. Get on the gas, Gio. He's getting a lot of encouragement from the instructor here. Slow through the chicane. Oh, not slow enough.
Here he is, the G-Man. He's coming in. He knows that you spun it. He's going to spin it. Yay!
Wave to the crowd.
Gio, G-Man. How was that? Wait, lift your visor and say, how was that?
It was absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Bit slippery out there, to be fair, and thankfully I had a good tutor next to me, or else I could be in that field somewhere at the minute. But yeah, it was brilliant, really good.
Did you spin it?
A few times.
3 or 4 times? Only twice.
Twice. Not too bad.
And that brings a close to a great day at Blyton Park. The weather has been a challenge, but so has the driving. I must say, these cars are fantastic.
As you can see, there's been a real change in conditions today. It's been dry, it's been damp, it's been sticky and slippy, and we have had a really good show with 200 Swarf and Chips. So we're grateful of your following and watching us on each and every single episode. Don't forget, we will announce the winner next week. So who do you think did the fastest lap and what time? And as we always say, keep those tyres turning.